got screwed right there.
Should be live with it. Yep. Alright, we are now live with it.
Nice.
Alright, sweet. So, Adam, what you got to show us, man?
Well, I'm just back testing some COVID shots right now. Kind of frustrating. Hold on, I just gotta. I'll show you a pair that I've been watching all week in a second, but this is really actually making me annoyed, so. This is really ugly structure. Maybe this is more of a fundamental thing and we should not be messing with this. Okay, break.
I will say,
This
with
now
the whole
becomes.
Delta variant thing coming out, a big reason why it's been running up is because Pfizer is one of those overly hyped stocks during COVID. You know, it's like, I mean, it's an amazing company, but price is probably a bit inflated just because it found so much usefulness in like such a small amount of time. That it started kind of dropping off ever since like the COVID deal kind of happened. It stopped just like going parabolic like it was, and then with this whole Delta variant thing, they're looking at all these vaccine companies again as okay, well, the government's going to need to rely on them for the Delta variant shot potentially if there is one. Stuff like booster shots for the just like for the regular COVID strain, and also just like if the vaccine has been that effective. I know like a big thing that made Moderna's stock price jump way up was when it was announced that 93% effective after 3 months on stopping the stopping COVID. As you guys can kind of see here on my screen, this is honestly it's about the day where like the news dropped. I'll just highlight this. I use Thinkorswim, by the way, when it comes to a lot of stock stuff, and you can see just the absolute insane movement that it made, from about 400 up to a peak of what looks like about 490 in a day. Absolutely nuts. We were in a Moderna trade for a little while. We missed this breakout by just a little bit, but we would have cashed out pretty big if we would have stayed inside of that one. So, kind of kicking myself in the head on that one a little bit, but it's all right. Anyways, Ab, you got that? You got a pair to show us?
Yeah. Actually got a trade that's about to happen. So, if people are actually in this, too bad. Anyways, so I've been looking at USD JPY all week. I missed out on a few trades. Let's see where. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember where it was. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was watching. Was it this high? What was this one? Yeah. So I was watching this area right here. I'll explain to you in a second. So, nub. This was a point of interest to me. As you can see, we did get some really nice mitigation. I just couldn't really find a good entry. I kind of want to go back and check it out. But the reason why is because on a higher time frame, as we know, the market's fractalized. So the reason why we're dipping is probably because if we look left, on a higher time frame, such as maybe daily, we'll be able to see what's going on. And as you can see, we're actually in a supply zone. But the reason why I think USD JPY is going to be extremely bullish is because, well, now we can go up to the weekly and look at it ourselves. Just over time, this is all back from 2003, just by basic structure, right? You just follow the most visible structure points to your eyes, and that's institutional order flow. So we put in this high, we put in this low. So we're expecting bearishness from this. We're expecting this to hold. If this doesn't hold, it actually breaks like it did right here, and we put in a higher high. Now we're actually expecting price to come back deeper into this area. But one thing that I was looking at, and very well could just make a new high now, but I'd like to see this pullback leg come deeper and mitigate more of this entire um, demand area. So what I'm seeing is, so we had structure, this smaller time frame structure. Again, the market's fractal, if you haven't noticed that yet. We had a break, right? So now we're expecting bullishness from this low to actually continue higher. And the reason why we can actually expect bullishness is because if you look at what price did, it's kind of interesting. So you have lows being taken out, mitigation, liquidity being built up. It wicked down, took all this liquidity, mitigated this area that took out these lows and mitigated this order block, right? And now it's actually came back down to mitigate it, broke up impulsively, and now this could be an area of reaccumulation to go way higher and take out this entire trend line that people are selling from that probably think it's going to come down lower now. And what we could actually see is either it puts in equal lows and then takes out all these, runs these sell stops, and then comes up, right? Or you could just see it create a new high, or maybe come up and test some of these supply areas before heading down. But it doesn't matter what it's going to do. What matters is what's happening right now. And so since we understand that price could maybe go down, I'm not actually, usually I wouldn't do this because, so we have these bigger, again, if you just follow this major structure points, high, low, higher high, higher low, right? So now what are we expecting? We're expecting this high to be ran, but we're actually in a supply zone on a higher time frame left, like I was talking about. So I'm actually expecting, that's why I also say beware of reaccumulation. We can delete this now. I'm expecting this high to hold because we actually had a break of structure. What I was looking for is we had this break right here on the higher time frame, this purple supply or demand area. That's a break. So what are we expecting? We're expecting price to come down and take all these lows out, run all these lows as liquidity. And then this is our protected low to hold. So I'm looking at this green zone to buy at. But I'm actually not doubting the fact that we could actually see this break of structure right here where we had price higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, break, failed, and now it's actually mitigating down. But we just saw a break of structure back up. So this usually means when you have this inner structure break, that this high is probably going to be ran. But the fact that we built up nice liquidity, like I said, could be buy stops, which means there's people that are getting in for preset orders, and they have their orders above these highs saying, if the market breaks through these highs, I want to get in for a buy. There's other banks doing that, and the bigger banks that have more money are most likely looking to come up into this area, mitigate this supply zone, because the higher time frame prerogative always is king to the lower time frame. So what I'm expecting is a distribution from this area, and we can look for some crazy shorts that'll go way down. So that's why I have my eye on it. But short term, we just saw a break. Short term, you don't really have to worry about any of that. When it comes to just scalping, all you got to do is look at what structure you have. Like I said, we could see, lower prices, but this is on the 1 hour, and we're actually going to go to the 5 minute and look at what's going on. And like I just drew up some structure points, and I'm actually expecting this low to hold right here, but I want to see it come deeper. Right? I want to see this structure hold, take out these lows, trigger these sell stops, give me some kind of accumulation, and take these tests and then run this high, right? Because what's the overall bias is bullish on a higher time frame. So I don't know if price is going to get up into that area. I'm being very hesitant just because these it looks kind of weird right now. We literally have a range. It could go either way. So I guarantee there's people on HFX, IM Academy, saying this is support and resistance. This is amazing. We can, buy and sell every. No, like this is literally just building up liquidity. So it's either going to drop, take out some of these supply zones, maybe head up, or these will act as liquidity and it'll just be a distribution. Either way, we're not going to trade it. If it was on the 15 minute, that's one thing, but it's the 1 minute. So the RR is not even worth it. So I was really tempted to take this buy stop right here, but I'm glad I didn't because it actually triggered me in, filled this imbalance, and I want to see it get into this POI. This is an unmitigated supply zone for me, and it was the last up move before the big down move that took out all of this liquidity, and it impulsively traveled down, left behind imbalances. And what's it doing now? Breaking structure to the upside to meet that bias, to match this bias, to then match the overall, right? Buy to sell into larger time frame buys up here to either run these highs or get up into that red area that I was talking about and sell off and see the crazy shorts from. So that's just lower time frame scalping, just putting everything together. I really want it to get up into this area before I consider anything. Right now, it's really ugly price action, and I'm expecting the highs to be ran, but it could go either way. So yeah, that's about all I got right now.
All right,
Hopefully,
sweet.
anyone watching that learned something and how I see the market.
Oh yeah, bro. So kind of just wanted to touch a little bit on what I believe is going to be going on with the market in the next couple. You guys may have remembered. Um, oh, that's not the right thing. It's not any of the letters that I typed in. Um, did a thing on Apple the other day. I always hate when these things happen, like right here, because it makes zero sense. Pre-market and after hours trading is weird and always will be. Um, but yeah, I did a thing on Apple a while back, and I said that it was going to hit 150 and bounce down like it has, just because that's a big psychological
On
resistance
Apple a lot.
for it. Yeah, and we have on the Discord we have eaten off of Apple. No pun intended.
Order theory, baby.
Um,
I get it.
hey, it works out though, especially with these big companies that you see a lot of retail people inside of these big companies. You can kind of scalp them in ways such as that. So after all that, you kind of saw people getting burnt out with earnings reports because they were all just amazing for a little while. And after this huge run up, and then there's just so many amazing earnings reports, and then all of a sudden it all just goes to crap. I honestly think that SPY is about to rebound off of that here pretty soon. It's been hovering around this 440 area for a very, very long time. And companies like
You think?
Apple.
You think? Okay, Jacob, this is what I want to do. Okay,
Yeah.
I want you to give me a pair that you know that you already have a bias on, that you think something's most likely going to happen, and then I want to mark it up and see if it matches what you think is about to happen,
All right. Well, I
based off of the
think.
technical analysis. Whenever you're done explaining,
All right.
I just sorry to interrupt. But
Well,
I just
no, it's
wanted
all
to see.
good. And you can definitely do that
Good
with what I'm
idea.
about to say here. I do think that and for you in the forex world, this would be SPX 500. I think we're about to see a dip in SPY. Maybe not as drastic as this one right here from about like July 15th. Um, but I do think that we're going to see a gradual, steep-ish kind of dip as we saw back in this March, like right here in this area.
Mhm.
And then I think that we're gonna. I don't even know. I could see us touching down mid 430s and stay or low 430s, staying down there for a little bit and turning around, and popping right back up. I just think there's not enough momentum in the stock market right now, there's nothing like news wise that is really changing that at all. We get
Mhm.
good news, we'll get terrible news. It seems like the market is just not wanting to do anything. So I think this is a big time where Adam, your set of skills comes into play in a big way. Um, so honestly, yeah, if you could check out SPX 500 and just kind of see if
Cool.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
for
crazy or
sure.
not. I think for you it'd be the 4300 area, the mid to low 4300 areas where I think it's gonna want to bounce off of. And if it does break past there,
Is
at
this the
that
right
point,
one? Real quick.
your screen's not showing for me for some reason.
Hold on. For mine it is. Dang. Share. We've paused the preview. What does that mean? There we go. Does that work?
No, it still is just being all kind of weird for me right now. Hmm.
Let me see it on YouTube. I'm looking at your YouTube right now.
All right.
Go to your Discord.
That's all I'm getting right now. As you can tell, we're amazing at this. We'll get
You want
better
me
at
to
this
like
side of things.
check? Hold
um,
on. I'm gonna disconnect. I'll be back.
Alrighty. So while we wait for that, I think my big reasoning on why that's kind of happening is just, as you guys can honestly tell, just with the market structure of the market. I mean, of course, it's not always going to go directly up, but you're never going to see. And granted, I mean, anything is possible. Country can crumble and everything like that. But I don't think you're ever going to see like a decade where SPY is going down. You're never going to see like 2 years in a row where SPY is going down. I really don't believe it. Like, I mean, you might see 2 years in a row if there's something huge that happens. But even with the pandemic happening, shutting down the entire world, it was ended up being one of the better years for SPY. Including the dip like in the middle, like not even having it start from like the bottom of the dip. If you start from the bottom of the dip during the pandemic, it was by far the best like year to date that SPY has ever probably done ever. I believe it went up about like 50-60% on that end. It went up about 30 something percent just in the year in general. So yeah, I don't believe that you're gonna like. Of course, it's gonna end up flying up in the long term, but it definitely is. It definitely is about time for a pullback. It seems not a major one. I don't think we're gonna see a crash or anything like that. I think that there was a lot of overreactions to a lot of things inside the market, and I think it was just kind of correcting itself because things were going too well, and now I feel like we hit this peak kind of, as you guys can kind of see, and everything's slowing down, and I feel like we're about to dip off just a little bit, regain some momentum, and then end up pushing past the 445, 450 area potentially, and then you're going to honestly probably see the same thing happen again. That's just kind of the way that the market moves, as you guys can just tell through this entire chart. I mean, you can go back, you can look at it for, we can go 3 years, again, right here is the big old Corona dip. But as you guys can tell, I mean, it builds up the momentum and then it needs to cool off. Builds up, needs to cool off, builds up. And it just constantly just does that. I mean, I know there's a lot better technical ways to kind of describe that, but to put it in layman's terms, we are kind of, we're due for something that's bigger than this tiny little red candle right here. We're in for maybe a week down or maybe even 2 weeks concurrently down before we can start building up again.
Can you try to look now at the Discord on your screen and see if it still works?
I see your video. I don't see your screen though.
So on YouTube, like I'm watching the YouTube live stream right now, and I can't. I just see your chart.
Yeah. So if I go right here, it'll take a little bit, but it's just gonna show our meeting, our Discord meeting thing. It
So
doesn't
you still
show.
can't see anything?
No, I still can't see your screen at all.
Really weird.
Oh, your mic all of a sudden becomes the loudest thing in the world.
Huh.
Seconds.
Your stream is still running. We've just paused this preview. What?
All right, with 5 minutes left to go inside the market day, I am gonna kind of just go over a few things on the moves that I have called out today, because I've called out a couple. We'll start with the biggest loser, what it seems like from the last couple days, UPS. It's crazy seeing all this downward momentum and thinking about how we somehow are losing money on this put call out, but it's all right. As you guys can see, it's starting to kind of like break down a lot of these lows. This right here, we got in around this area, and then they announced this huge share buyback program that just terrible timing. That's always going to boost the stock price even a little bit. But what's crazy is that, you think with the share buyback program that's that big, it would go up more than just like a percent, I mean, one of the biggest moves that we've had inside this Discord so far, at least on my end, was Smith & Wesson. That was off a share buyback, and the stock price went from about $18 to about $35. You guys can see my cat with the cone on in the background. And they have a huge share buyback program they announced, and it goes up about $1, and then it goes up about $4, and then even during the day it starts tapering down and ends up closing only about $2.50 up. Next day it ends up being another red day, and today it looks like it's also going to end up being another red day. So I feel like we're about to see that push down to the downside. If we go out to the daily chart, it's a lot easier to see. There's a lot of gaps that need to be filled. Yes, there is a gap up that needs to be filled, but I think with the downward momentum and just with the fundamentals of how pandemic is coming to a close, always wear your mask though if you ain't vaccinated. Get vaccinated if you're not, unless you don't believe in it, then I can't tell you what to do. But I do think that because like the fundamentals of this company, and also just, I mean, you have companies like Amazon that are going to push them out of business or buy them out eventually. But until they do buy them out, they're going to be eating away at their market share constantly. This all just screams bad news to me. And I do think that we're going to see this gap fill down here, or at least a major push to the downside. We're going to see kind of like a $5 move down, $10 move down soon. So we're going to be able to eat off of that pretty soon eventually as well. Let's see, what else? We called out Plug earlier today. Plug is a nice one. As you guys can see, Plug has, it was kind of like a pump and dump thing for a little bit, even though it is a company that has a lot of potential, because this is how the world's going electric in the ways of cars. And now, I mean, electric cars, everybody used to make fun of the dude who drove a Prius. Everybody used to make fun of that dude. But nobody's making fun of the guy who drives a Tesla. Nobody's making fun of the people who drive these new, cool-looking electric cars. And that is still a big reason why I'm still bullish in Ford, even though it looks like one of the moves that I called out with that is it's not going to be paying off in the short term. But these companies that are making all these electric cars, and with administration that is going to be pushing these electric cars onto the people, a way to universally charge the electric cars, a company that has that thing mastered is going to benefit. It's going to benefit directly from it. Plug is that company. I believe into the next couple of years we're going to see Plug run up. I mean, I think it's not out of this realm to believe that Plug is going to be comfortably trading over $100 10 years from now. Hopefully sooner than then. As you can tell, yep, the bell just rang. So I think honestly, this is going to be a move that is really just. It really is based off a lot of fundamentals and the fact of they announced that there's a lot more opportunity in the market right now. Their CEO was talking about how they are actually making way more money than they thought that they were going to at this point. So that's just a big thing for me. I think that we're going to see a jump up to around this $35 area at least. But I'm probably going to want to take not partials. I'm probably going to want to take profits once we hit about like a $32 area, just to play it safe. Let's see. I have another one open. I'm a very, very forgetful person sometimes, so I always make sure I have these things set up. Oh, yes. Then Nano Dimensions. The Ark Invest baby child. Sometimes gets a lot of love, sometimes gets a lot of hate from them. I still don't understand it. Today, there was a big spike, and it's kind of turning around now. I called it out for December 17th because I just kind of see... honestly, I saw a lot of basic chart stuff that I think is pretty important, that has honestly helped me out and just making a lot of money when it lines up with a lot of my fundamental analysis with it. That's a big reason why this trade is set to expire about 4 months from now, because at the end of the day, who knows, but I think in 4 months, no matter what, Nano Dimensions is going to be trading over $7.50 by then. As you can tell on the daily chart, if we go to that, when it does go up, it ends up going up about $1 or $2 over. That could easily double or even potentially triple the amount of money that we put into this trade. I just think it's about time for Nano Dimensions to run up a little bit, and it kind of showed that today, as well with some of the things that the company is announcing that it's going to come into effect in the next couple months are very promising, very bullish. So I'm excited for that one as well. And there's one more that I'm still in right now. Yep, this one right here. I have a $9 call for December 17th in here for SRNE as well. I really like what this company's doing. I think in the next couple months it's going to start seeing the benefits of their work come through a whole hell of a lot more. I think they ran up way too fast. As you guys can tell right here, they got kind of pumped. It happened before as well. I don't think it's going to go all the way back up to 17. Frankly, I don't care if it does. I just want to see this thing hover around $11, maybe $12 the next 4 months, and then that's how we can make some pretty good money on that. I even only take profit really is on there, and I even said that I'm going to leave runners open, but the take profit is on there at 225. We are down a little bit on this position right now, but I'm not sweating at all. I think actually today we probably made up for that. Yeah, we definitely made up for that today. So we actually probably are up in this position right now. Yep. I think that's all I really got right now.
I'm marking up SPY right now.
Oh. Rookie mistake on my part right there. And then I also do have a Disney call that is open right now for 180 that expires not this upcoming week, but next Friday on August 27th. I still have faith in this one. We lost a little bit over the last couple of days, and yes, it is very short term, so theta is definitely eating away at our premium. I understand that, but I still have faith in this one. I think that we're going to be able to see some pretty good moves to the upside here pretty soon. again with these crazy after hours positions. I don't understand that. I don't understand who would ever sell a share of Disney for $14 less than it's worth. But yeah, so I think that's all the moves that I'm in right now. So, actually, we got one more. It actually just expired. The other day. Let me see here. I actually kind of forgot about this one, but it did exercise. Well, I tried to exercise, and then I made sure it didn't, so he must have been in the money on it. Yep. So we bought some United States Steel contracts, and I wish that it would have had the expiry date out a little bit more. We did. It looks like here just based off simple math. I bought this on my Weeble account and kind of forgot about it, which is bad. Don't ever do that. Make sure you guys always keep track of your guys' trades. I feel stupid for that one. Well, let's just do a little bit of math. Let's try to figure out how much we made on this one. Let's see, so we close about that. I'd say we made about 65% on it because we bought the contracts at about 87 cents, and they would have expired about $1.47. Yeah, about $1.47. So yeah, I mean, almost. I'd say it's even more than that. I probably made about 75% on that one. So yeah, I know that I have not been having the most amazing call-outs. Well, actually, they've kind of turned around a little bit. But that's kind of how I'm thinking. Right now with steel, actually, that is one that I might want you to look at, Adam, because this is something that really could go either way. People are buying it as an inflation hedge right now, which is nice. Dividend did just happen, which could mean, potentially good or bad things. I mean, like, sometimes stocks only run up because of their dividends. Sometimes they will just keep pushing like it's not even there. This one's only a cent per share, so I don't think it really is going to matter. But I don't know. I can see steel continuing this big old George W. and at least pushing up to hit about a high of 30 before pulling back, and then it would be kind of from there. I don't really know what would happen. So, you didn't know that you get that to work over on your side.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about if you can see my screen or not.
Do you have share your screen clicked?
Yeah. Maybe if I turn off. So I'm gonna press share your screen. Entire screen, share audio, share. And to me, it was working.
Yep.
Cool.
I think it was actually.
So here's a little short play on SPX.
There we go. You're on screen now.
Okay, cool. Here's a little short-term play on SPX. This is on the 1-minute chart. We just look at our major institutional swing points. Just put in a higher high. So what are we expecting? We're expecting this high to be ran. So we have to anticipate that, even though this looks bearish to me, and very well could be, this high was never ran. So there's still liquidity up here. And until this high is broken, I'm still looking for this low to be ran now because. So let's look at just what happened, okay? This is going to be confusing to some of you who don't understand structure very well, but I'll try my best. So we have this inner price action, protected lows being put in, then there's a break. Believe it or not, this is a break. Could be a liquidity grab, right? That's what it might. It actually looks like it might be that, but there is still unmitigated areas down here that I really like a nice buy from. So since we have this break, we have to expect a short from this high. And what happens? Beautiful sells. How do we confirm that? You would get even lower, and you can actually see it. Well, I guess you would have gotten screwed over right there. But on a lower time frame, well, these are good sells for the SPX. On a lower time frame, the seconds chart looks something like this, right? There's your break. Never get confirms. Get another break. Maybe you got something in there, maybe you didn't. But there's definitely some sells in there because this is still the 1 minute. And if you didn't get in that, if you wanted to keep trading on the 1 minute, you understand that this area is, I guarantee, on a maybe 30 minutes, one candle. Nope. That was a terrible guess. 4 hour. So yeah, it's basically probably the daily, but this is a demand zone now. So when we're on the 1 minute, we're not confused as of why it's not even valid to be looked at as a demand zone until it breaks this area right there. So now comes down to mitigate, breaks inner structure, telling us that we're probably going to come lower, or this is a liquidity grab. But we also had a break of structure right here. So this low right here could act as a buy. And the way I'm determining if this is going to be a valid buy is it touched. I'm now looking at this high. I was for a second. I'm looking at this high. This is a protected high to me. Once this gets broken, it makes the most sense that this low is actually a liquidity grab, and this break of structure means that these buy stops are going to be ran. So I want to see a sell from here. So what I want to see is I want to see structure being put in and then a break, so I can look for sells in this area to come lower to then look for the real buys. Okay. Or more than likely this is going to redistribute down to this area, and then I can look for the actual breaks and the tests and take it up to run these highs. Long term, I have it. I kind of looked at it. It's been so beautiful. Kind of mad I haven't really been trading it. Like, it's just like it literally holds all the structure holds, man. Like, look at that. It's all protected lows. It does build up some liquidity. There's a few fake outs, but nothing like someone can't see if you understand how price actually moves. So these are my points of interest. When you have a big dip like that, especially the fact that when you have a dip like this and it breaks all of these major lows right here, takes them out, especially this one, you're expecting to go short this area, and you actually do get a nice break and a test, but then it turns around. So this would have been a really good sell opportunity if you're a day trader anyways. So there's so much many negative orders. Probably not up here. I'm actually going to disregard any of this. This is more likely than not liquidity. It's going to be ran. But this is the area, believe it or not, that eventually I want to see it tap into. Like, eventually. If it doesn't, and another thing I marked up was when you have these equal lows, there's such a good chance it's getting ran. Like, it sounds crazy, okay? But it's not, because it will do that, and that's not too, I mean, when you have this fat of a retracement, what's to say that you won't have another one? You know what I mean? Long term, definitely bullish. Obviously, it looks amazing, but when you have this big of a low that takes out all of this and COVID, you might have to get some kind of retracement. And the reason why I don't think it's going to turn around from these areas is because it actually broke here, came back, and now this is all open game. This entire area is negative for banks. For banks, anyways. And it depends if they want to be greedy or not. But again, shorter term, It looks like we're kind of evening out, like you said. We put in these equal lows. That's a huge sign. What I want to see, this is a protected low to me. I want to see these equal lows ran. I want to see a test. We can look for sells down into the shorts all the way down into this area. And then we can look for our buys to run these highs or at least come back into these supply zones to then take us lower and make that huge pullback we were talking about, or Jacob was talking about, either into this area, again, equal lows, liquidity, or redistribute to test these supply zones it left behind and keep going down. Keep doing that all the way down to that entire area I was talking about, which seems crazy, but a lot of fundamentalists are probably like, "What is this?" But like, it's just it happens. Like this is over time. This could happen easily, especially with
I agree with that. I honestly,
especially with the cryptocurrency market about to start booming. I really do think that we could see that. So that's my bias right now. But short term, I like exactly where you said it could come down to into.
hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely could see it happening again, just based on the fact of there is a lot of with how everything with how the stock market rebounded. Um, there's a lot
Yeah.
of unanswered questions about how healthy it is to throw trillions of dollars at something to make it move. You know?
Oh yeah, and it just depends. Like it doesn't have to happen, but it's just based off of what we've seen. What banks like to do. They're not going to leave their negative orders down there when they don't have to. They don't.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to,
My only thing
and
with
that's
that
just
is that this isn't necessarily controlled by banks per se.
that's another big factor. But any market that moves has price
Oh
is
yeah,
somehow
it
manipulated.
is. No,
So
it is going to go and attack those lows for
yeah,
sure.
there's
I
some
don't
kind of
think
composite.
it's crazy to see it shoot down that far though. I really don't. I don't think it's crazy for it to break 400 here decently soon. I mean like it would be upsetting to me because I tend to make a lot more bullish plays on it because that's just how I think of SPY. I mean I don't know.
Mm,
A lot of people just
well, I
have
can tell you once it
certain biases
breaks,
on like a pair, certain biases on like a stock, and I just have
yeah,
a general bullish bias on SPY. So it would kind of suck to see it go all the way down there, but it wouldn't be out of this world. Like it would make
no,
sense. Like I would sit there and be like,
no.
okay, like all of these things have added up. I mean, on the technical charts, yeah, it's crazy to see something run up this steep this fast. Like if you go and look at it on um, if you were just like even just basic technical analysis, all right, let's go basic retail technical analysis, even though retail is the people who think that SPY will never go down a point a day, like never, even basic retail technical analysis of just like drawing up trend lines and using support and resistances and stuff like that. Look at how
Every
different
Japanese.
the trend line is pre and post COVID. Like
Yeah.
scroll out as far as you possibly can on SPX 500 real quick, and just look at the absolute craziness. I would go maybe even like the day chart.
Oh my gosh, dude. The thing about retail is they see this and they're just like, it's working, but like the day.
Yeah, and just
Yeah, that is.
how much steeper just even like that is compared
Yeah,
to.
but this is liquidity, dude. This is all liquid. I think, in my opinion, and I could be completely wrong. This is liquidity. It's building up. It's working this many times, building up liquidity because it needs to come down to this area.
When would you say would be
Oh, I know
your target
exactly. I
price?
know exactly the day when I know SPY will start absolutely spiraling down and probably make this exact same motion. Like it'll look weird. Like it'll be like
Is it when the Browns win the Super Bowl? when pigs fly.
That's what it's gonna look like. Okay, either when if it's somewhere over here, I don't know. Okay, if it were to fall right now, but once one of these lows breaks, one of these main lows, so like an actual worthy low to be looked at, um, it wouldn't be too crazy to say if this low broke right there, we're bearish, man. Like and it could be distributing right now. Like what it's
Yeah.
doing is, I mean, let's just take a look at Bitcoin, for example. I want to show you.
Hell, you
Let's.
honestly, another thing you could look at after Bitcoin, that is more, I guess, telling. Not telling. That might like translate more though. Just because it's like it's more of like a physical thing. Would be even just look at lumber prices.
Oh yeah, no, it
Look at where
worked.
those fucking
Menta
go.
FX trades, dude, I learned this stuff from, and I'm giving all the credit to whoever I learned from. Um, he literally trades like corn futures because he's bored, and he does the same exact stuff. So it's like he literally used to like call out Bitcoin, and I remember like, and it would like this is like if we just look at Bitcoin, we have this ascending triangle, whatever you want to call it. It actually worked pretty nicely. But the thing about this right here is you don't know. Like retail always finds a way to say like, "Oh, yeah, that was a flag." But you don't know this is going to happen. Okay? It's not like right when it breaks out of these lines you're in for the buy because look, it could have done this. A lot of people would have got messed up there, you know? So it's like you don't know for sure until after it happens, if you know what I mean. So if we just look at Bitcoin, this is the hype. Put in this high. Still bullish. Still bullish. Start breaking structure. Ooh. 1 second. Sorry, just can't
He
pass
said,
up a
let
live
me make some money real quick.
on screen. I've been waiting all day. The spread is completely terrible though, so
That is see, you deal with spread, I deal with premium prices.
so what did we see right here? Look. All this liquidity. Oh, let's look at our resistance. What did it do? Took them all out, and now it's profiting up. What's it most likely going to do? It did this, grab liquidity to come higher to mitigate this area, to follow up and come deeper, or because it built up this much liquidity, it's just gonna do something like this. I can literally take an entry right here. Like I can confirm a second entry, take it down, and I'm looking to get out of the trade or partial or break even right here. Then I can confirm this. If I start seeing breaks of structure, I'm in for a buy. Because this is all liquidity too, right? So then I don't lose. Or I can just hedge it. Either one. It doesn't matter. It's an arbitrage situation. You know, you get to the nice thing about smart money is you get to confirm. Like right here, retail's saying, okay, here's my sell stop. When it breaks this, I want to get in for sells. Look what happens. See what I mean? So right here, I can confirm this. And just by looking at one of these wicks broken, I can look for the test and I can take it down. But since I'm aware that this could actually act because you had to sell down really crazy to get these lows taken out and then push up fast, this is a demand zone. It's literally a picture perfect. I'm going to screenshot that in a second. I'm going to let price kind of do its thing right now. As you can see, it's kind of falling nicely. I want to see something like this. If I see something like this, I'll sell stop that down to this area down here. But so we'll look at that in a second. I was looking at Bitcoin, right? Yeah, I think so.
Oh man, that's a pretty big earnings report. It just came in on how that affected it.
So we're gonna look at Bitcoin and how like you could have followed it this whole entire time. But even from the beginning, this is the 4 hour, by the way. So you have your just main structure points. This is now your protected low. It holds, okay, and it just starts dropping, and you're like, okay, what's going on? Well, Wait, actually, hold on. Protected high, protected low, protected high, protected low. So this is all still bullish. You're literally expecting bullishness from this low. It This is liquidity to me. This wick on a smaller time frame. Look out all this liquid. There's negative orders here, and look what it does perfectly. Selling climax, ST, STB, spring, shift, and then it comes back and gives you another Wyckoff. So you're looking at this low now to confirm it. Selling climax, ST, STB, spring, shift, test, you're in. Some kind of lower time frame confirmation. You're like, holy shit, I'm going to be rich. And then it comes all the way back down. You could have gotten another entry there because you're still bullish. Bullish. So now you're expecting these lows. Doesn't give you anything. Now you're expecting these lows to hold. Gives you a nice entry. Pushes up. Looking to get in here. Some people take this supply zone. I wouldn't personally because there's imbalances. What does it do? Comes down. Okay, mitigates. So now you're looking at this area. Doesn't really give you anything. You're waiting for this high to be broken. Breaks down. Now you know this is a liquidity grab. So you're actually expecting shorts, and this is the 4 hour. So this little down candle, beautiful for shorts. And then it switches back bullish. Now you're looking at this low. We could do this all the way up, and then we get a huge shift. So now, this is actually beautiful Wyckoff. What's it actually doing? Almost pit perfect. Put a ray right there. So this is just the larger time frame structure. Do you see that? What it's doing? It's coming back to mitigate this push down.
Yeah.
That's all it's doing. But, you know, if you're a day trader, you're not watching that. So you actually get this break of structure on this wick right here. This wick got all this liquidity. So you're not really expecting it to go much lower just because, I mean, it did build up equal lows. There's just so much, like, shit tells me Bitcoin's going to go down. Anyways, comes up, tests, and then you start getting the breaks again. You're looking for buys. Obviously, not everything's going to hold perfectly. But nice thing I like to do is take a Ment block, is what MentFX calls them. And you can actually drop the 50%, refine your zone, and look at that. And then you look overall selling climax, ST, STB, spring, shift, tests, another Wyckoff to back up, and then you're targeting these high, it runs it. Okay? But remember, we put in those equal lows right here. So those need to be ran. So what do you see? You see a shift. Structure. So if we just follow structure, we're bullish, bullish, bearish. Now we're looking at this Ment block right here to hold. And that was awful. So you can be looking, I would have refined probably, again, if you want to take the 50% of that, about. Wouldn't have really gotten in an entry. I would have loved it to come up higher. But once you see price start breaking down.
There's some huge Euro NZD news, by the way. It's tanking. Because
News is actually, MentFX describes it perfect. He says news is an excuse for the banks to move where they want to go next.
holy cow. Well, they had an excuse to make that thing go way down.
So let's look at what's actually happening, what we can actually expect. So
Also,
on a higher time frame,
another one. I was actually going to call out a put on this. I'm upset that I didn't. Playboy just missed their earnings by a lot and are down from about $30 a share to about $28 a share in the after hours.
let's look at Euro NZD right now. Try to explain this move. Oh, okay, yeah. This is so. First of all, on an even higher time frame, this is all an area of interest. And notice how this area of interest, what is it? What rests beneath it? Resistance, right? So what's that acting as? Liquidity. You get these equal lows. Retail traders are literally taught. This is a perfect resistance. Two taps perfectly. They don't understand. Big down move is unmitigated. Hasn't been touched. Price has not entered this area. Negative orders. What's it fulfilling? If we just follow the structure. So it's
So
either going to hold, but it built up equal lows, so it's most likely going to come up, hold at this intermediary structure, take out this trend line right here on the bottom, come
I
into
was just about
here.
to say that. I feel like when a lot more retail traders, especially honestly, I won't even say especially in forex, because I see it a lot in the stock market. I mean, when I'm trading stocks like Apple and whatnot, you'll see like a double bottom, and people go like,
Oh
a
yeah,
double
no, they
bottom right
love it.
there, like it's not gonna do
Exactly,
anything,
bro.
and like yeah, like it
Exactly.
it won't, like it's not gonna go lower than that for a little bit,
That's liquidity, dude.
but then
We're
yeah, but then
literally
it most
taught. I was
definitely
taught that
is
equal
going to
lows,
f you over.
equal lows are equal lows for a reason, bro. They're meant to act as liquidity. That's why, like, what do you think this is?
Yeah,
Oh, some kind of
it's the
channel.
same reason why I think it's a big reason on like the technical chart of like why I mean like POW is Ammo Inc, a company that I mean we made pretty good money on a couple months ago with their earnings report and everything. It is tanked down from, I think we sold it, it was just over $10 a share, and it has tanked all the way down now to like $6 a share. No, $7 a share. My bad. I mean, I think we're gonna see that thing fly way past it, because yeah, it hit that double top, and it is crashing down. I mean, there was like way too much like momentum with it, and there was a lot of uncovered lows. Um, it's just yeah. I mean, it's sitting there. It's meeting them. It's meeting
This
those
could
right now, and it is when it turns around. That thing is going to turn around with some force.
check this out. So we actually built up liquidity. Okay, again, what does it do? Takes it out. It could either go up, and there was a little wick here, or I am actually confident, because I see a nice distribution happening to sell stop this. I don't know if the RR is worth it. I mean, yeah, it's a 1-to-1. My partials will at least be 1-to-1. That's not bad at all, you know? So,
Take your trade
um,
live, bro. Come on.
if it breaks this low, I'll sell stop it. I want to look at Euro NZD really quick, because I was just on it, and it made a lot of sense. So, that's the 1 minute. I mean, we could honestly break it down. Not that far. We don't need to. So trend line being built up, equal lows. More likely than not, here's the thing. There's structure within structure, right? So this is also very unmitigated, and you could refine it. A smaller structure within that you could look for. The fact that these highs kept getting taken out tells me that this is not liquidity. If it was like this, that would be one thing, right? But it actually kept taking out highs, dropped off. So this, to me, says that this is going to be the area to look for shorts. We can even refine that on a higher time frame prerogative. So now, to understand when price is most likely going to make its move up there, because we know it's most likely going to next, we look at the structure. Higher high, higher low. This high is supposed to hold. Builds up equal highs. Wonder why. Breaks down. Lower high or lower low, lower high. No mitigation. Builds up equal lows. Takes it out. Triggers the sell stops. Builds up liquidity on the top side. Takes it out with a lower high, but this protected high holds. It's holding. Still holding. Drop. So now we're expecting this low to be ran from this area. You get some nice buys. And then what do you see? This is a reaccumulation. Break of structure. So now what are we expecting? Hold on, let me just exit out of this for a second. We are expecting, technically, this entire ment block hold. We can look for points of interest within that. So either this area or lower. I'd like to see this area is my area, because we have liquidity resting underneath that. So but what we also could see is this low could hold right here. And I actually would not be too Surprised if that happened. So we have this is why I hate trading Euro NZD though. Rule of thumb. This is why no one trades Euro NZD. It's just ugly. But still, you have to look at structure. Break a structure. Now let's follow price. Let's look at our protected lows. Low. Still hasn't taken out this high. Validates it. This is now our protected low. Comes down. Validates it. This is now our protected low. Comes down. Still hasn't taken anything out, but we did get a break of structure. What are we expecting? We're expecting this low to technically hold, go up, and if it doesn't, we can look for the shorts. Actually, if it doesn't, it's probably going to come down into here. And this is still valid to look for buys, but it's actually more likely to be some kind of redistribution that's going to fake people out for buys that you can actually get nice buys in, but you have to understand these imbalances are probably going to be your targets, not necessarily way up here yet, because what's it trying to do? Higher time frame, right? Fill in, take out these equal lows, give us a nice break a structure up, and then we can look for the buys to meet a higher time frame prerogative. Invalidated. See, zones are not always going to hold perfectly. It's perfectly fine when they don't, because you're not really 15-20% of them actually hold. You're just creating a story. If you see what you like to see, you take the trade. I never saw what I wanted to see. I never saw a break of structure. It came into it. Now it's breaking up. Most likely gonna run these highs. So now my point of interest moves. I delete this entire thing because I don't give a shit anymore. And now I'm looking for buys again. Most likely, since this is my zone. Now if I see lower time frame structure, if I see this low taken out, I can look from shorts right here from this, because this now is the last up move before the down move that broke structure. Look for shorts into this area to then turn my bias around for buys. So yeah. Anything else I should look at really quick? Don't tell me what you think's gonna happen, because I actually want to test it. And holy schmack.
What's that?
So technically, okay, technically this is our protected low down here.
Yeah.
This is all unmitigated. So now if we see one of these highs ran, now this is our protected high. So this is our protected low on a higher time frame. This is our signal to start looking for buys right there. And what does this mean? If this breaks, why is it breaking? Why are banks giving up this position? Because they've fulfilled what they need to fulfill, and now they're going to run these highs. Either come up, stop at this high, which you can look to manage your trades at, or reaccumulate, go higher, fill this entire area right here maybe, then push down. See, so it's just like you just confirm what you see. That's what I love. Another thing, what could we be seeing as well? Selling climax, ST, sign of strength, AR, STMB, distribution within that to come down to create another schematic, selling climax, ST. Potentially an STMB might see a spring. Since we understand this is most likely the spring on the larger schematic, if we see a break of structure, we'll be looking to enter maybe on another schematic on the seconds, and then we could look to partial here. If this is the actual move though on the higher time frame, we got a freaking amazing entry. You see what I mean? If you catch a small ass seconds move that's like a 1 pip stop loss, and then it actually matches your higher time frame, you're looking at crazy 1 to 30 trades. That's why this is insane. Retail can't do that. They just go, okay, here's my support. Well, it always gets manipulated, so I'm just going to get in for a long at the top. I'm going to target all the way up here. And I'm going to put a, let's see, 30 pip stop loss just to be safe. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, smart money, your zones aren't always going to hold. They're not. But you're either going to break even or partial 80% of the time if you know what you're doing. But the trades that do hit, they hit. So that's why this channel is going to be saucy. Especially when I teach you, Jacob. Whew,
Oh man.
my goodness.
I do have one. I have a stock I'm in right now.
Yeah. What's it called?
A bad reaction to a good earnings report made me really want to get into the stock because I'm just bullish on it in the long term, and it made it discounted enough to where I was like, you know what, I think it's about as low as I'm gonna find it for a little while. But TDC, I got in, and this is on my main Weeble portfolio. I'm in for, let's check my average, about $48.61 on my average for shares. Man, I really should have done some call options because of the next 2 days it has bounced way up. But I feel like it's gonna end up pushing past that that $59.58 high here decently soon. It's a fairly new stock, so
Low, high. What do we have to expect? Just broke structure. So yeah, we could see bearishness into this area to run this high. Shorter term. Let's get rid of that shit. And go to the weekly now, check that out. So it kind of looks the same. Looks like this was a trigger to get in a lot of buy stops. I do think this is bearish, and I'm not, just from like what I see, when you see a wick like this, it's usually a liquidity grab to go lower, right? And what was actually resting there?
So the news around it really was there wasn't there wasn't much news around it, much more than it was like, okay, this is some technology that's gonna become useful in the future, you know. So then people freak the hell out about it. But then
let's look at how the news affects the chart. Okay, let's say this is the area where everyone starts freaking out about the technology.
Oh no, I was talking about the news from when it bounced from about at the beginning of 2020. It was around $22, and it bounced and it hit a wick all the way up to about 59.58, as you see there.
Mm-hmm. Hit this area, mitigate this blow.
Is all that stuff from back then, but like there's some
take out these equal highs.
End up being useful for in the future. And people are pretty bullish on the stock for that reason. Honestly, same here. Like fundamentals wise, I think this is a good 10-year investment stock. You know, like this is a good one to hold on for a long time.
Looks very nice to me. Looks like it grabbed the liquidity below here to mitigate this area, because as you can see, if you look where the orders were, right? These are people getting in for buys right here. What happened? So what does that have to act as now? Well, has to act as a demand zone. And don't be fooled. This is your demand zone. Notice how this one looks good, and you can still take buys, but I wouldn't be. What does this do? What does this act as? Liquidity takes it out. People are buying again, trying to find the crazy move. Comes up, mitigates it, takes out liquidity to come down and mitigate this area, shoots up, breaks structure. Doesn't give you a test, it just goes straight down to fill this demand zone. Another liquidity grab to take out those equal highs that are usually representing bullishness, leaving behind the entire demand zone down here mitigating this block, this unmitigated area on a higher time frame. It's the last up move before the down move right there. And we can actually look around the 50% of that is this area. And I would have honestly anticipated a little, if it was going to be bearish, maybe somewhere up here. This could be liquidity. But again, the fact that it's saving up liquidity to not is just like telling me that it's going to go higher. But I don't see why I would go higher because it did leave behind this huge imbalance. Big push up.
Yeah. I saw a lot of stuff on, I mean, just looking back at like historical like volatility and different things like that. They had about like a fourth of the volume that like they do now. Back then, like when the stock was trading that low, the volatility was way below average. And there was just a lot of reasons like that why it was trading like that, and then it exploded like that. And I do think this gap might get filled, but I thought potentially the moves backwards
it could easily
kind of did that.
Yeah, no, it definitely did fill. So like wicked up, came back, and this is now an entire demand zone. But I like to see a little more of it filled. So I'm looking at least this area to come back and touch.
Alrighty.
Right. So and then if we look at the inner price action within that, we can just kind of look at what price is telling us. Ooh, that's a big sign. And so like, but at the same time, just ran some liquidity. We had to break a structure on a lower time frame. And what's it doing? Guarantee. So you're looking at this break test of this high because we had this manipulation of all these highs over here that mitigated this area to probably come down, run these lows, and either turn around into this area or down here. So I would be very bearish on this just because of the simple fact that bullish and still having we're still bullish, but I want to see it come down to this area. That's what I would anticipate. So we are bullish. We have to like just go off of what price is getting. That is really annoying.
Is that me or you?
I don't know, but I hate that sound. So yeah, this could go either way, man. I think it's gonna go bearish. I think it wants to come back into here, but you can't really expect that until I'm gonna find the exact point that you can expect that. So I'm gonna draw it again. Nah, you know what? We're just gonna eyeball this. High, low, high, low. Shift. Look for buys here. You get them. And so now we're getting this structure. It's coming up to this supply zone. Builds up liquidity. Shift. There's your sell. Another shift. You're bullish. Now you're bearish. This is a liquidity grab to me. Now you're getting shift on a lower time frame. So the only thing left to really be mitigated is down here. So like I said, right now, short term, you're very, very bearish. And you should be safe. What you should be doing is you should be targeting this. Like if I was trading this right now, first of all, I'd be looking.
I have it set up to. So I'm in for little tip when it comes to long-term investing. Don't throw all of your money into something right away for a buy. Even if you think it has nothing to do with it, just go up, you're probably wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody will always do that. They're always gonna be like, "This is amazing. I'm gonna throw all my money into it." What you really should do, and I learned this from, I do not remember his name, but he was a YouTuber who was talking a lot about AMC, and I wish that I would have played that the same way that he did. He was sitting there. He's like, "Okay, yeah. So I bought I allocated out how much money I wanted to put into AMC, and I split it up into these different areas of like I'm gonna buy this much of it by this percent when it's at $14, and he did that. Then he's like, okay, and then it didn't keep going up, so like that kind of sucked, but I didn't lose a bunch of money. So then when it went down to 12, I put in more. It goes down to 10. He did that all the way down and he had it planned out all the way down to going down to $2. He was gonna buy in the same amount of money, and he would have actually bought in. He would have had way more shares, and he did have way more shares, and he made a whole lot more money than if he just bought in everything at $14, like a lot of people do. Because as most people know with AMC, here I'll switch it over to my screen real quick to kind of show this. I really do wish I remember this dude's name. I feel bad that I don't, because I definitely would shout him out. As we can see here, AMC was up at like just a week. Yeah, I want the day. All right, yeah. So big spike up like to $20. Everybody's going crazy about it. He buys in at about like 14, is what he said. So he buys in at 14 right here. It keeps going down. So he buys in at 12. Let's say it's like let's just say like $1,000 for each. All right. If you do like some quick math, let's say he had $7,000 to spend. He would be able to buy 500 shares if he spent all $7,000 at $14. But instead, he bought $1,000 at 14, so he bought 71.4 shares, and then he bought another $1,000 at 12. That's another 83.3 shares, and you just keep going and you keep adding all that up. Man, I wish I had something to write down with because I don't really feel like remembering all this stuff. But this is a pretty important point, so I'm going to just do it anyways. And then you buy another $1,000 when it's at $10 a share. That's another 100 shares right there, so on and so forth. Or even just there, he spent $3,000 of his $7,000 where he was going to get 500 shares. He spent less than half of his money and gotten 254 shares, which is just over half of like what he would have gotten. You keep rolling with that, and you go $1,000 that by 8 and add that in to 254. Boom, you're already at 375.
Wow.
So then by the time AMC were to get down to $6, as we can see, it definitely did happen. He actually spent less money and has 41 more shares. Because he went in and he just like put in like a little bit at a time. So I do have some money inside of TDC right now, but I don't split it up like that necessarily, but I'd only have about 20%, 25% of the position that I would like to have. And if it were to go way up and just only like ever continuing going up, I would probably just do something of like, okay, there's a pullback right here, I'll just buy in right there. But it's for reasons like this, I don't know, and Adam will be the first one to tell you as well, I'm not nearly as good at the technical stuff as Adam is. I don't know entirely where it's probably going to pull back to. I just know in 10 years, this stock is going to be worth a lot more money than when I bought it at. That's all that I really know. But yeah. to be able to maximize that profit and to have it so it ended up pulling down a lot, though, let's say. Instead of being in profit after 2 years, like finally then being in profit, you can be in profit after a huge pullback after like 3 months. While with spending less money and then potentially even making more money in the back end because you just allocated it and you went in there, like you kind of sloped into it a little bit. You didn't just buy all the way in, you kind of just gradually just buy yourself into that position. And I think it's the same way with getting out of long-term positions as well. Not a lot of people think about it like that, but I do think that it's the small note of $1 million. I do think that it is a lot like that when it comes to like getting out of something as well. A lot of people see like a lot of these stocks, they see they made a bunch of money. You know, let's say you were in on Tesla at $50 and you just bought in everything that you had. Then you ended up selling it when it was at $500. You end up making a bunch of money, you know, but the stock price ended up going up to like, what was it, like 1,500 before it ended up splitting? Something crazy like that.
Wow.
Stock price goes up to $1,500 and you miss out on all that profit. But if you were to just kind of like scale out of it and just set stop losses for each one of your things, so you can then map out a certain amount of profit that you know for a fact you will make. Like, hey, I want to make sure that on this one trade, I make at least this percentage. So I'm going to set up my stop losses at all of these points to make sure that I make, at bare minimum, this percentage. So you hit your first one, you're just taking partials. You're just taking partials all the way through. And, you know, because, and there's a lot of other really big reasons when it comes to holding stocks for the long term, or why you would, even if, all right, stock price is going down a little bit, cool, but is your yearly dividend bigger than your loss? Or is it not going up as much as the stock market like as a whole is? Because I think a big thing to compare your stock moves against is ETFs, like SPY. SPY will make around 10 to 14% a year, I'd say. If your stock is not making that, you know, you definitely want to reconsider and try to find a better play, you know? I mean, because if you just throw all your money into an ETF and just guarantee yourself 10 to 14% a year, then why not just do that? Damn, I was really going somewhere with this too. Now I'm pissed. But if things like dividends and whatnot kind of add up to like, okay, so I'm in a stock and it's only gone up 10%. You know, the past like 3 years, the average is only 10%, but SPY's been going up 12% a year. But my dividend outpaces SPY's dividend by such an amount that actually I'm returning about 14% a year through dividends. Just cold hard cash that's being put inside my pocket. So at that point, yeah, it definitely is a really good move, you know, to hold on to that stock. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff. I mean, boring stuff like that, but stuff that is really needed to know if you're not really trying to trade all the time, but you just want to learn how to just invest your money smartly, so then you don't really have to think about it, which I know a lot of my friends are kind of on that wave. That's the stuff that you really have to think about. Look at the dividends. Look at stuff like that. I mean, PE ratios, a bunch of things like that, and that's how you're going to be able to find the stocks to where you don't have to be like me and Adam and staring at charts every single day. You're just going to be able to find a stock.
I wish I could do that.
That is going to just pay you in the background while you go and you work your job. You go and you go do whatever the hell you want to do. And then you look back 40, 50 years later and you've been on Robinhood like a few times, or, you know, you've done these different things like a few times, and you look at it and you go, wow, I have made an insane amount of money not doing jack shit.
Shit, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm already up 150 on XRP. A $500 investment.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Holy shit!
Shit has
Let's
been
check this
running,
out.
man. People hate on shit. Wonder if Shib's chart is on here.
Or
It's not. That's sad. Is it?
Shib's been going stupid too.
Shib has been. It's kind of been pulling back.
I haven't even looked at it. I don't want to because it probably looks really bad on a chart.
What, Shib?
Honestly, so I just
I haven't even
it's a meme.
looked at Shib on a chart either.
My goodness, bro.
Wow, you call it out at what, like 60 cents?
Yeah, I got in down here. 64 cents. I got in on this move specifically right here. So I saw this break. I knew it was really bullish, and I was looking at this demand zone. And as soon as I saw, I think it was this break of structure, I was like, load me up. And yeah, up to 84 cents. So, and it's still moving up too. So, I thought right here, I honestly I'm still anticipating it low key. Like I'm not even gonna cap. Uh, like we could either see a reaccumulation from here to go higher, which I hope happens, but I still like these equal lows down here scare me, bro. But I could see this happening. I mean, we're getting some really bullish momentum. We could just see that. So, yeah. But and then VE chain and Ethereum looks so bullish. Ethereum is like, look at that, dude.
Hey,
Oh my.
shout out Carter. I just gotta say it. Shout out Carter. How the hell did Carter find the exact damn bottom?
He got in down here, didn't he?
Yeah, he called it out at like 1700.
Well, dude, if I would have like
He
understood how to
literally
trade, I mean,
made, like $20 off of like the absolute bottom of Ethereum is when our boy Carter Hodge called that out. Like, wow, that is absolutely nuts. That is absolutely nuts.
maybe, hopefully, I want to get an entry, dude. I'm scared to take one of these, but it could run up to here. That's when I'm gonna look to.
Day trading, I don't think I would trade. Me personally, I hate when price is at where it's at right now.
I hate it.
I hate that.
Oh,
because
this
that
is
could
terrible.
do literally anything right now.
This could literally go, or like it doesn't matter. Like it's most like, look, when you see, it's been doing this, bro. It's been holding very nicely. Even this thing held. Created a new. This is a protected low. If this gets broken, short me in. I'm taking shorts.
Yeah, there's just nothing telling though. Like right now on that. And that is
No, you
that
can't.
does
You
kinda
can't
scare me.
really, unless I'm like on the 1 minute chart. I can tell you what price is gonna do in the 15 minute. Let's see. Break a structure. Oh, more than likely. Like I said, more than likely, gonna come take this high, or this is a break structure. Take out these equal lows, come down to this area, then take this high. Might actually look to get involved if it comes back into the 2000s. It's just me though. I got some good Ethereum, and you also called out, what was it, VE chain?
Yeah, actually, that was not me. That was Jake Mook, friend of the Discord, personal friend of both of ours. Somebody who really hated what we were doing with the whole academy thing, and can't say I blame him.
What was I
In
gonna say?
hindsight, I think that dude was right.
I was, what was I gonna say?
I think that's coming from
The only thing that I don't agree with on Carter is he says Bitcoin is gonna make new highs. And I know you think that too. But if
I don't think it's
Ethereum
gonna
does,
necessarily do that.
Bitcoin
just
will
yet.
not. Because Bitcoin will not. This is what's happening. If you look at what Bitcoin's doing, just restart, okay? Just look at the structure. Higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low. Higher high. Huge break of structure. Beautiful shorts. Smart money. Beautiful Wyckoff distribution. Drops off a cliff. Clearing this liquidity. Building up liquidity on the bottom. Built up equal lows here. Notice how it wasn't up here. Built up equal lows. Or highs, excuse me. Took it out. Took out some liquidity there. Now it's pumping. Where is it most likely headed? This is the casket right here. Might as well put a casket at this area.
It's at the face of
Between
Bitcoin.
60, between 59, 613, and right where it's at right now is the casket for Bitcoin, and I'm calling it so everyone can either call me a dumbass when it does make new highs. I'm calling it. This is what's gonna happen. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin's going up. It hit 56K. Oh my gosh, it hit 57. What? Oh, it just broke down. Oh my god. Oh.
I don't know
Everybody
about
down here.
12,000.
Everybody down here.
I don't know about 12,000, bro.
Oh, liquidity. Is that even? I don't even know how to make a Q. I forgot. I'm just gonna. Yeah. Either way, you
I
get
don't
the
think
point.
that's how you
Okay.
spell that word.
It might not go to 12,000. That was over dramatic, but this will be cleared, and it will come down to the 20s and go sideways for all of eternity. Because
Oh,
the banks get their money back. When they get their money back, this is their negatives. That's their negative. That's where they messed up. Hype bought in. Okay. Only crypto out there. The banks realize that the better cryptos are happening, so they built up liquidity. Running the buys. Filling in inefficiencies. Filling in the last up move before the down move that took out this entire side. XRP, Ethereum, VE, all the altcoins, parabolic. Just like I'm gonna have to look up here to find XRP in a different chart above me. Bitcoin is just gonna make a ball sack and just drop. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. Bitcoin is a no-go for a long-term investment. How does that make you feel?
You know what? Actually, something that I have kind of thought about is its relation to GME. As you guys can see, with just like with Bitcoin, this is a lot more drastic, I would say, of just like how quickly and how fast it shot up. But I like to call this the art of FOMO. You see that huge high like right there, you know, and then it goes and it tanks all the way back down. Now it's gonna go and it's gonna go kind of meet those things, and it's gonna go free some bag holders of Bitcoin. I do agree with that.
Check this out, man.
It's gonna end up tanking back down, though. I do also agree with that. I mean, I don't know. I think that this movement that we see here with GameStop, yeah, it's now granted, there is a lot of things that could keep both
I'm gonna have
Bitcoin
to, like,
and GameStop
scroll
from
down.
doing this. People are now switching from hedging inflation with gold to hedging inflation with Bitcoin. Adam, you want to check up on how that gold short that I called out a while ago is doing? You're gonna cry when you realize that you didn't get into this massive gold short.
Oh no. I think I know what you're talking about, bro.
But anyways, I mean, we're even gonna see probably after Bitcoin goes and reaches the whole 56K thing. I think we're gonna see a big dip, and I think we're gonna see it hit that area again, or maybe just like a little bit lower. But then I do think it's gonna tank off. That's my theory on it.
Am I being stupid?
Let's type in gold.
Gold. With this one.
Well, either one's gonna show you. Like the first one will definitely show you.
Is this the short you called?
I just called out a short in general when it was at like the 1900 area.
Oh my gosh, bro. This is everybody in the Smart Money group chat was like orgasming about this, dude. Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, break a structure."
Then go and look at what the U.S. dollar's been doing.
That is ridiculous. I just don't hop on the charts enough, dude. Like, I need to be like seeing this stuff and like actually watch it. Annoying. U.S. dollar. Let's check out Let's see when let's see when we're gonna move to cryptocurrencies.
Hey, but check out this recent spike in the U.S. dollar and
Oh my
the
god,
relation to the
it's
recent
literally
crash.
bearish. It's bearish, dude.
I know, but you want to know what's crazy about it? You remember how I was saying
Look
that
at it.
people are
It's
now
bearish
hedging.
structure.
People are now hedging inflation though with cryptocurrencies a lot more than they are with gold. That was the connection between gold and the U.S. dollar. So that is maybe my big thing of okay, so the U.S. dollar is gonna probably tank here pretty soon if people are hedging basically the U.S. dollar with Bitcoin now instead of gold.
Oh, this low is being swept. Oh my
Then
gosh.
Bitcoin might be the one who sees
Shit.
sees the benefits of it, and
Distribution.
that is
Redistribution. Oh man, this
that
is
is
when
potentially
this happens, dude. Oh my gosh. And look, 50% of this perfect. Oh my goodness. Dude, this is when XRP, Bitcoin, F, XRP, alive, happy, Adam, millionaire. All right. You think that should wrap it up? It
yeah,
is
honestly.
4 o'clock, and it feels like it's 10 at night. But I just realized I got up at like 5. So,
um,
uh,
so one last thing I do want to say, but yeah, so that is a potential reason why Bitcoin I see could potentially not go down. Um,
Bitcoin's Bitcoin's gonna nosedive, dude.
I know, but if it were not to, that would be the reason why. Because
If, if it were not to, then I would just delete my charts and never trade again because I am so confident. You guys are all gonna cry when Bitcoin doesn't even reach remotely close to new highs. It's gonna be hilarious. I
you
can't
see,
wait.
there's just the whole thing about it, man. We just there's all these other coins, and Adam was telling me this the other day. All these other coins are so much better than Bitcoin, and I mean, in certain ways, yes, a lot of them are. In certain ways, they're completely better than Bitcoin almost every single way possible. But the value of something is only based on what value people give it. The generational wealth gap of our entire world is so fucking nuts that the people with all the information on Bitcoin have none of the money to actually spend on Bitcoin.
Bro.
And the people who have all the money just see this as Bitcoin go up, I make money, Bitcoin, yay. You know? That's all they ever see it as, so they're just dumping money into it. So it's almost like I don't even know. It's almost like like the Warriors dynasty. You know,
Dude,
they're gonna
come
be
on.
they're gonna be good for a while. You know, like that's how it was. They were just gonna be good for a while, no matter if they end up getting Kevin Durant or not. It's
You
gonna
gotta
be the
look at
number
this,
one
dude.
price crypto. It's gonna be the most valuable cryptocurrency for a while. Now,
Dude,
will
come
it
on.
always be that way? No, because eventually things are going to change. People are going to realize just how much better a lot of other cryptos are than Bitcoin, and then those are
Heck,
actually going to
dude.
take off. But with the flooding of the market, with all of these shit coins, and just all of these different things that are just taking attention away from actual good altcoins and things like that, it's not creating the environment for death. Oh my gosh. It's not creating the environment for some of these altcoins besides things like Ethereum, but even things like Ethereum to really thrive, you know? I mean, Bitcoin is always going to have the biggest backing. Not always, but for the near future, I'd say for the next couple years at least, is always going to have the biggest backing just based off the fact that it is the most well known. Because valuations, at the end of the day, and Adam, I know for a fact you will agree with me with this, valuations are all just arbitrary at the end of the day. Nothing will ever be perfectly priced. Nothing will ever be perfectly priced to what it probably theoretically should. If we were all robots and we all had amazing brains and we all knew exactly what to do inside of these markets, they would not look nearly the same as what they do right now. That's why, like Adam has like amazing chart skills and things like that. That's why, still sometimes things break. Like you said, zones, there's like a 15% chance. That's the reason why there's only like a 15% chance.
That's why we confirm zones.
Yeah, exactly. But even then, there's still always the chance of losing because no
100%.
matter what, some weird things could happen. Some people could just say, oh, well, like a huge group of people be like, no, well, this is actually worth this. And you're sitting there with all the information, you're going, in what world is it worth that? But it doesn't matter because if the people who have the money say that it's worth something, it's worth that thing.
But the reason why I don't think Bitcoin, like as you can see, what I've drawn.
I'll show you, John. I don't even think anybody's even like been watching this for a while, so I think this is hilarious. We're just talking to ourselves.
Hey, maybe
if
someday.
you are watching this video and you get to this point, please, on a scale of 1 to 10, rate this piece of art right here.
Anyways, so banks are already all agreeing. Every single bank almost is agreeing to use Ripple XRP as their coin to transfer funds across, countries across the world. It's the fastest way. Ripple has software. It's a utility. The lawsuit's about to get, they're about to get a slap on the wrist and keep doing their thing. It's never going to be this low again, ever. Ethereum 2.0 just came out. 100 times better than Bitcoin. Faster transaction speed. Everything. Bitcoin,
Ethereum
banks are going to get their money.
Is better than Bitcoin, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Banks are going to get their money back. Around this time, is when our altcoins are either going to explode or Bitcoin is going to, if Bitcoin drops, dude, it is over. I'm a millionaire. If you invested into Shiba Inu tonight, you're a millionaire. No, I'm just kidding. But
SHIB to $1.
Literally, that would be so lit. It's like not even in a sense.
We all plan to each get a yacht that has the SHIB, the Shiba Inu painted on the side of it.
Crazy. That's going to be the one that probably makes me the most money out of anything I ever do.
Yeah, like a $50 investment.
I'm like, no, but like this is. I think people are going to realize by this time this is enough time. I do think so, and there's obviously going to be some dick riders. Excuse my language. But end of the day, who has the most money? The composite man. People controlling the market. The people controlling the market are telling me that they want to take this out. They're telling me that they want to shift structure. They're telling me that they want to distribute off. They're telling me that they want to commit suicide and get their money back. That's what they're telling me. That's what I'm gonna follow.
And I definitely do agree with that. I just think
versus okay, so you see this entire distribution.
Yes.
Why would Bitcoin give you this? Okay, but then look at the other cryptos.
When Bitcoin hits that high, when Bitcoin even gets anywhere near that, the first thing it's going to do is pull back in a major way. I'm talking about thousands, maybe $5,000-$6,000, like $5,000-$6,000 at least.
Point. Never even thought about distributing like a point. Obviously, but it didn't go like, oh my gosh, guys, Bitcoin is not the coin to be using. Yeah, let's get out of this shit. Let's start building up liquidity. Let's shift. Let's retest some of these areas. Build up liquidity. Come down to no, bro. Selling Climax, STB, Spring that took out all of this and mitigated perfectly 50% of this first down move. And now it's exploding impulsively and probably never going to come back. If anything, it might start going like this. Like it might wrap around price and then go up. That's probable.
You think Man, the only thing that is guaranteed on a chart is that it moves to the right, and you're saying this about to move to the left.
That's how crazy it's gonna be, dude. I'm gonna have to literally like scroll up and find it up here somewhere, and then click on it and like find it up here. Like that's the only way you're gonna be able to look at a chart with Ethereum. That is just, it's just there's no reason why it would be doing all this perfect accumulation, building up liquidity, tons of inefficiencies, and really like a very small distribution, shift, test, a point versus a rounded out. This took time, dude. This took like, I remember when we were in this stage when everyone was like, "Holy shit, why is Bitcoin at $60,000?" That was this stage
That's the old
right here.
people money, dog.
That's when everybody realized, okay, what are we doing?
Bro,
There's
Bitcoin-
Bitcoin's way better than Bitcoin. What is going
like,
on?
Bitcoin's like when your mom first got on Facebook, and then you're like, "Damn,
Exactly.
what is the next thing that I can find?"
So,
I'm no
so
longer
exactly,
on
but
Facebook.
technically this was the end. People realized that a long time ago,
But
right here.
also the thing is,
They
though,
have to
the
come
thing-
down.
Nah, but the
They
thing
have
is
to
though,
build
Adam, is
liquidity.
that to go with my analogy, look at what happened to Facebook after that. Look at what happened to Facebook after that. They ended up just switching. I don't even mean the stock. I just mean like, well, I mean, I guess you can say like the stock. All of like their main user base left, which I think a lot of Bitcoin's main supporters have been dipping out. I do believe in that. But
Even BitBoy is saying XRP is the best investment in 2020.
I know what you're saying.
BitBoy.
I know what you're
BitBoy.
saying.
His
I know
name
what
is
you're saying.
BitBoy.
I know what
His
you're
name
saying,
is
but Bitcoin is
BitBoy.
going to make higher highs than this. Bitcoin is still going to hit insane prices in the future, just because old money is going to be there, and there's a hell of a lot of old money, and old money loves Bitcoin. Look at the list of billionaire
Old money
investors.
is going to die, just
at-
like Bitcoin.
All right,
Yeah.
you want to talk about banks? Why don't you look at the list of billionaire investors that are heavily invested in Bitcoin? Why would they let it tank all that way? Why are you looking that up?
Because I got a vaccine and now I'm scared because of this reason.
All right,
Anyways.
I think that's a decent area to end this. I think this has got enough off of the rails. Hey man, you ain't wrong.
I'm like, what do you want me to look up?
I was saying
Billionaire
look at the amount of billionaire investors, or look at the amount of multi-trillion dollar companies that are invested in Bitcoin. The one that I really can think, like the one like big billionaire investor who does not even touch Bitcoin is Warren Buffett, because that dude is so smart, because he does not trade anything that he does not fundamentally understand. And that dude does not, he said, I am too old to even want to learn about what the hell this is. I'm going to be dead before it matters, so I'm just going to not do it. And I was like, you know what? That is admirable.
Mark Cuban. Bitcoin Gold.
My thing is that there's too much. Yes, it's going to make it is going to pull back when it hits that zone that you were talking about. It could even take out the lows of what has just happened with Bitcoin.
Kind of, dude.
But
It's going
Bitcoin will see $100,000 in its lifetime. Bitcoin will probably see $200,000 in its lifetime. People who are saying Bitcoin will be $1 million, I don't necessarily know about that. But Bitcoin,
that is like Glock 3000 writing. Like that is, whoa, dude. You gotta like. I know you like Bitcoin, but dude, that is like.
that is crazy. But I
That's
will
not
say
even-
that if you were to invest $1 million in
That's not even
Bitcoin
objective.
right now at about $45,000,
per coin, if you were to invest $1 million into it right now, at some point, you are going to 3-4x your money. And I can guarantee that. And I can guarantee that. Will it happen anytime soon? Hell no, it won't.
I need to see a chart of your guarantee. How do I look up your guarantee?
How do you make sure? What do you mean?
I need to look at the technical analysis of your guarantee, like what you're saying.
That's fundamentals, bro. That's fundamentals. Hell, bro, your XRP shit's all fundamentals. What the hell are you talking about? Talking about lawsuits and banks wanting to use it as their transaction thing. You're sounding like me out there when you talk about XRP.
Yeah, when I think of like investing, I don't give a shit about technical analysis. I don't at all. I promise you. I just
no, and you're not wrong to. My whole thing is that you need to have good fundamentals to invest in a stock for the long term.
If I'm on the 1 minute time frame, I need technical analysis. But when I just need like a head, with two shoulders on the sides, then I can realize that if banks are using XRP and it's its lowest point ever,
it's probably gonna
go up. It's like
it's probably
like when people tell me, I'm like, people are like, "Oh, you're in stocks," and I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Oh, well, the PS5's coming out, so Sony should be a good stock to invest in, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, probably. I don't know, sure."
Not even necessarily, honestly.
Like that's what people were telling me when they said they were involved in the stock market. They said, "Yeah, I have a Robinhood account. I invested into Doge." I'm like, "Okay." Why?
Hey man,
think about long term. Okay,
now.
Any coin like VE chain, like something that works, it's going to make new highs. Bitcoin is a shit coin. It's terrible. There's nothing good about it unless they make it better. But right now, there's just it can't even compete. The transaction speed's 30 minutes compared to Ripple XRP is like 5 seconds. About to be listed on the Coinbase. I'm not saying that you're
wrong with that. I'm just saying, man. Like,
I'm just saying, like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm not going to own Bitcoin unless it makes new highs.
I'm not going to own Bitcoin because I just think there's more opportunity inside of other coins. I think there is.
Oh my gosh, the amount of return you could see in something like Ethereum
the percentage return. The percentage return that you're going to see inside of these other coins is just going to trump Bitcoin.
This shit moved up 20 cents in my $500 investment.
Yeah, exactly. And if you put $500, you put $500 into Bitcoin,
it went up 5,000. Like that's maybe like $10.
Yeah, exactly. So. But I don't think it's crazy to say that Bitcoin will go up to anything.
I don't think it's crazy at all.
Anything under 200,000, I don't think is crazy. I would not say it's crazy. So I do want to end this out by saying, guys, if you guys are interested in what we use to kind of mark up our charts and whatnot, I'm a big fan of Thinkorswim. It's offered through TD Ameritrade. You also get this right here, this little TV right here. I really like this because you can watch TD Ameritrade Network just live from right here. Or you can watch CNBC, or that. I don't even know what that is. I don't think I've ever even seen that before. But yeah, things like CNBC, I like to just have this on throughout the day, even if it's just background noises, because a lot of these people just
Coinbase is
talk out their ass, honestly. But yeah, I like it for a lot of these reasons, and also just the freedom to just kind of like be able to market your charts. Adam, you want to talk a little bit about TradingView?
Yeah, well, my computer died, so I'm just going to talk. Yeah, I like TradingView. You can see a lot of stuff for free, and if you want to understand how to do technical analysis with nothing else but that, it's going to be extremely hard to learn it unless you can backtest data, and unless you live trade, but that would take a long time because you need to see how the market runs and try to predict moves. That's the biggest tip that I have. So you might want to pay for the $15 monthly version, is what I have, because I don't see the point of the 60 because I don't really use the seconds. The lowest I'll go down to is the 1 minute, because my POIs usually tend to be around the 4 hour, 1 hour POIs, and then I look for a break on a lower one, and then I use the 1 minute to confirm. So if your strategy does base around, if you want to go really crazy and hop on the seconds, by all means, get the $60 one. I guess there's more data to backtest, but if you're like me, more of a laid back trader at the moment, I'm not on the charts for, 12 hours a day. I just set alerts, hop on when I can. Haven't even really been trading that much right now. Been busy with school, but TradingView, I'd say, honestly, the free version is fine if you know what you're doing. If you just want to look at anything, you can, chart up anything. There's a lot of good tools on there. Pretty basic, but yeah, the $15 one's honestly worth it if you want to backtest.
Yeah. So that being said, if you guys actually sat here and watched this for 2 hours, you're absolutely nuts, and go to bed. We're probably going to be doing these, I think we said every Sunday is what we're thinking about doing now.
Yes.
Every Sunday, sometime during the day, we'll get a schedule going out. We're going to start live streaming this more regularly, talking about the moves that we're making every single week, and just kind of just giving some basics on teaching and whatnot. And also, we would love to have this kind of be a way to build up kind of the community and just kind of get to know the people that we are calling out plays for a little bit more. So, yeah. All right.